Welcome to the Robotics Revolution podcast, where we explore the cutting edge of technology colliding with artificial intelligence. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into some fascinating advancements in the world of robotics, specifically focusing on new open-source models being developed to enhance robotic capabilities. Let me start with an intriguing concept. Imagine if robots could not just follow commands, but actually understand the intent behind them. Well, that's precisely what the physical intelligence team aims to achieve with their open-source repository, openpi. They are pioneering new vision language action models called Pi0 and Pi0 Fast. You may be wondering, what's that all about? These models are designed to facilitate complex interactions between robots and their environment, bridging the gap between language, vision, and action. The Pi0 is a flow-based diffusion model, while the Pi0 Fast is an autoregressive model. In simple terms, they're both sophisticated frameworks enabling a robot to interpret commands in more human-like ways. So the question is, how do these models actually work? They have been pre-trained on over 10,000 hours of robot data, which is an incredible amount of experience for a machine, right? They're able to learn from various scenarios, making them adaptable for different robotic platforms. This adaptability is crucial because, let's face it, no two robots are identical, and the landscapes they operate in can vary widely. Pause for a moment, let it sink in. Now here's the fun part. While the developers are optimistic about how these models can be applied creatively, they also acknowledge that not every application will be successful. It's a bit like trying out a new recipe. Sometimes it hits the mark, and other times, well, you just end up with a mess in the kitchen. Speaking of kitchens, there are pre-tuned models that have shown promise in performing everyday tasks. For instance, the Pi0 Fast Droid model has been fine-tuned to execute simple tabletop manipulation tasks. Imagine a robot folding towels or even unpacking food from Tupperware, all while carrying out commands without any hitches. Can you picture a future where ordering your robot to pick up the fork becomes a seamless interaction? Now let's get a bit technical for a moment. To run these models, you'll need some serious hardware. Think NVIDIA GPUs. It sounds intimidating, but here's the kicker. The setup process is quite user-friendly. If you're okay with some coding, the openpi repository provides straightforward commands to get everything running smoothly. Now I know what you might be thinking. How does one customize or fine-tune these models? As an example, the team walks you through an entire process that includes converting data and setting training configs. It's a fantastic way for those interested in machine learning and AI to really dive into hands-on experimentation. Transitioning back to a more conversational tone. But hey, it's not all just serious work, right? There's room for playfulness and experimenting. I'd love to know how listeners might envision using these models in everyday life. Would you want a robot helping out with chores, creating art, or perhaps something more imaginative, like playing music? Before we wrap things up, let's reflect a bit. OpenPI and its models represent a significant step forward in robotic intelligence. They show us that integrating vision, language, and action can indeed enrich the capabilities of robots, making them an integral part of our lives. In conclusion, whether you're a developer, a researcher, or just a curious listener, I encourage you to explore these models and see how they might inspire your own projects. Maybe one day you'll have a personal assistant robot that's not just obeying your commands, but genuinely understanding you. Thanks for tuning in to the Robotics Revolution podcast. Until next time, keep dreaming, Bay.